Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about how I used to be the fat friend. And now that I'm no longer the fat friend, the world treats me freaking differently. From my standpoint, it is so crazy. And I just realized it today after I was doing my workout. I was really pondering on how the world used to treat me compared to how I'm being treated now that I would say I'm in the best health and point of my life also, where I am taking care of my body on purpose. And I will say the world is a lot more kinder on this side, but it also has its faults. When I was younger, I was very athletic. I didn't start gaining weight until about junior high when I was put on this medication for depression. And what it did, it just made me really, really hungry. And on top of that, I think it was harder for me to lose the weight. I don't know. And so when I was on this medication, I gained a whole lot, because when I was younger, like I said, I was always small and petite, always been a small statured person. I have yet to reach 5 foot. And if you ask me in real life how tall I am, I'm gonna tell you I am 5 foot, but really I'm 4'11". And so I've always just been a small person, as in height and everything being conjunctive. But when I hit junior high, like I said, I got pretty hefty. I think the highest I ever hit weight-wise from junior high all the way up to like 20 was 165 pounds. And that's a whole lot of weight to have on a small stature person. If you are that, that's not anything wrong. But for me, I felt it not only within myself, I felt it from externally, how everybody else treated me. How when I would go shopping and I would want to buy clothes and clothes didn't fit me right. My girlfriends, when they would be like, you can borrow some of my clothes, and my thigh couldn't fit and my leg could not fit in their pants. Like, I have a girlfriend who's always been really, really small, and she would let me borrow her clothes, and I would stretch the hell out of those clothes. And I thank her every single day, because I'm like, yeah, I can fit into a size 6. Girl, I was like a 16, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But this whole entire video is just the fact that I am looking at it as, now that I'm kind of back into that weight where I'm not a lot more bigger than I used to be. I will say the world does treat you different. Is that fat phobic? I don't know. Could be. Like, one way I was thinking about how I was treated differently from like eating wise, where when I was heavier set, people didn't come up to me and tell me I needed to eat. When I was bigger, people knew I was eating. People looked at me and just assumed. Now I can't go to a function without somebody offering me a freaking plate, somebody pushing me to go eat, somebody telling me you need it. Even if I tell them, hey, yeah, that looks delicious, but like I'm really on like a health binge, dude, you can't have a piece of cake. No. But when I was heavier set, people could care less. People see me go get 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plates and not say a damn thing about it. But people care more about what's going in my body now than when I was heavier. Is that fat phobia? Who knows? And the next one is clothes. I don't know though, because I still have a hard time finding clothes. Back in the day when I was younger, this was like the 2010s-ish area, 2012. I mean, everything was kind of still petite, so like finding bigger clothes was hard back then. And now that I'm a little bit more, I'm not in size 16 in jeans. I am, and I'm not saying that's big, okay? I'm not saying that's big, so don't think about coming after me about saying that's big. That's big for compared to what I am now. And I should even just show you guys a picture of what I looked like when I was a little bit bigger. Now that I go shopping now, I say clothes sucks still, because I feel like we are back in skinny phases, so everybody's skinny weenie. It's hard to find clothes still. I don't think there's much of a difference. I don't feel like that they really have a variety of clothes for people who are really petite or people who are a little bit more full. And so like, and I'm trying so hard to be politically correct, because I'm not, because I can take one tumble and fall and I could be right back where I was, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I do want to be careful about how I use my words, because who knows, you as a kid could be hearing my words and how I'm describing it and take offense to it. Or you're like, oh, I'm big, maybe I need to get smart. No, girl, you are perfect the way you are. This video is mainly just about how in my own experience, how the world has treated me differently now that I've lost weight. And clothes is one of those things. Also, when I was heavier set, there was more comments on the things that I wore than now. I can show more skin now, it feels like. But when I was heavier set, I was offending everybody heifer and anything. I couldn't do that. There was too much jiggle. Could it be fat phobic? I'm not saying it is. It could be. That's just another point. The next one is dating options. Oh my God. My best friend has always been beautiful. She, all throughout junior high, all the way into high school, her genre of boys to men that she could have dated was her, like, you name it. And I always was so confused. I was like, cause I was her fat friend. And we would always tell each other, man, we bad, we high, we cute. And then I would be so confused when me and her would be out and only one of us be getting men. Or boys back then. Why does my hair look like that? I'm really trying. The silk press ain't silken. But I've realized now as I'm older, more men buy me things. I can be at a store and a man will come up and just pay for my groceries. I don't know if that ties into people just thinking I'm hungry, but they will come up and buy my groceries. This has happened a couple of times. Or more men wait to hold the door for me. Back in the day, I can't tell you how many times a door has been shut in my face. And I don't know if that kind of connects with a man's viewing your worth as to how, depending on what size you fit into. But like now, like I mentioned, I get more respect now than I did back then. The way that men used to talk to me back then was crazy. But then again, am I confusing men with boys? It's a good question. Could be that. Could be that less than them saying because this is a fat bitch. You never know. But this is one thing I absolutely loved about myself is that I knew where people wanted me to date in. The pool of men or boys. The pool of boys. Because when I was dating back in the day, I was a child. So the pool of boys that I could date in, I was like, that's not for me. I want dad. I want that daddy. And I didn't allow that to affect me. That's why I'm saying right now, I realized there were so many ways that I felt like I was being pushed into a sector of things that I deserve and what I should want because of my size that I didn't allow myself. I think anybody who knew me as a kid, preteen, growing up, you knew there's no insecurity. Not outwardly, inwardly, yes, everybody has insecurities, but outwardly, you would have guessed that. The next thing that I wrote down is that people comment more on your body now than they did back then. Back then, that's why I said I think I was so oblivious. People never said, damn bitch! No, now everybody's like, go eat a steak. Go eat. Go do something. You're too small. Everybody has an opinion now. Everybody has an opinion on what I'm doing with my body. More people look concerned now than back then. Obviously, I was a child. Right now, I see like more people care about my health. And more people want to have discussions about it. Even if I told them, hey, I am eating. This is what I'm eating. They're just like, but it's not enough, sweetheart. Not enough. How? You're not making me feel good. And everybody knows when you go on a health journey, you have your own body dysmorphia already going on and you're battling that within, and then when you're having people being like, I will choke you. I am literally 1 calorie away from just eating a whole box of donuts. You think I want to do this? It's called discipline though, so I do want it. Leave me alone! And the last thing I want to say is that people love to rewrite history. For my 10-year annual graduation thing with my classmates, I tell you what, it was so weird walking in. It was so weird seeing all the people who you went to high school with 10 years ago, not that long ago, honestly. I say don't go until you hit your 20 year, right? But I was just like, interesting. And people were like coming up, and I remember you. I was like, do you remember me? Yeah, really? Because that's not what I remember happened. Like, I can tell you one specific story. There's this kid who I dated in high school, and he was like, no, you were never fat. I never thought you were fat. Blah, 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 blah. But I specifically remember this exact kid telling me, hey, how much do you weigh? And I was like, 160. How tall are you? And I was like, 4'11", 5 foot. Why? Whoa, such and such is 5'4", and she's only 110 pounds. Don't you think there's something wrong with that? I remember I was like, what? Something wrong? I think this is the first time somebody's ever brought to my attention that I was heavy. And I was like, no, I don't think anything's wrong. I'm all muscle. Because, like, granted, on top of that, I was all muscle. I gain muscle very, very easily. I think, and this is not me cocky, but my family is part of that 1%, where all we have to do is run a mile and you're gonna see definition. All we have to do is pick up a weight and you're gonna see definition. My family's just very athletic, very advanced in that direction, where we don't have a problem with getting back on track. What was I? Suffer on the brain. I am off track. But that did not subside the fact that, yes, I was a little bit more bigger than her. And he was just like, don't you think there's something wrong with that? Me? I mean, yeah. And then when I tell you that has been a motivational factor in myself, that's been something in my brain, not healthily, I'm not saying that is anything healthy, but it has been a voice in my brain to remind me of how far I've come and how proud I am. Because at that point, I was on medication. And no matter what I did, my body could not drop the weight. I would have loved to be skinny mini. I would have loved not even just skinny mini, just not as heavy. I could even go 135. 135 looks good on me too. 167? That's 40 pounds away from 200 in my little short statured. Girl, If you are watching this and you're wondering, hey, what's the whole point of this video? Find your balance. It's my main advice. Find your freaking balance, because you can be all the way on this spectrum. Nobody's gonna be freaking happy for you, and you can be all the way on, and you can be the most healthiest as freaking possible. Nobody's gonna be happy for you. What is going to make you happy in the healthiest way? What is gonna make you happy healthily? Following me? Don't go all the way this way and then go all the way this way and say, at least I'm the happiest. No, find your happy medium and be that. Because no matter what, the people in your life more than likely aren't going to be happy, because guess what? They're projecting what they feel on the inside onto you. I mean, is he happy where he's at? You just never freaking know. You just never freaking know. And your journey is your freaking journey. I would never tell him that where he's at is not where I think he should be. I would never say that, because that's not my business, nor do I freaking care. As long as he's not hurting himself, as long as he's not causing harm to others, not eat, do whatever you need to do to find your happy medium. If you want to be strict like me, where you literally count every single thing that goes into your mouth, do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Or if you want to be somebody who doesn't care what goes in their mouth, do it. It does not freaking matter. Life is linear, point A to point B. Whatever you decide to do, whatever stops you decide to do, in the long run, it doesn't really freaking matter, because we all end up in the same exact place. I also want to point out, going back to how men treat you, I am not a male-centered woman. I'm really not. So when men do these things, when men open up doors for me now, when men are acting more respectful towards me now than compared to how they are, it don't faze me. But I notice it. I check it. I recognize it. Go, I don't care, to be quite honest, because it's my world and they're just living in it at the end of the day. That's just that. I am going to end this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. What's the key takeaway? Find your healthy middle and stick to it. Don't matter what anybody else says. Okay, as long as you are being healthy and taking care of yourself, why not? Why not? Drink your water. Agua. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you for watching my video, and until next time, bye. See you later. Over and in. Ciao. Peace! Also, my room is messy. I will clean it one of these days. One of these days. It's not even that bad.